Exuberant Dave on the road again. I just came back to Orlando from New York, where I spent the holidays and New Year's. Spending some quality time with the GF. It was awesome. I had a great time. And now I'm back in Orlando. And I'm starting out today, going not too far, just about 20 some miles down to St. Cloud, where I'm gonna stay with a guy who is also a bike tourer, and also he's interested in permaculture, and so much so that he started a group, and I think I'm gonna go to a meeting, so I'll try to get some sweet footy from there too. It's so nice in Florida compared to New York. It was like snowing one day. It was like so cold and rainy, and it wasn't rainy that bad. Actually, it was not that bad, but it was quite cold. And now it's quite warm here in Florida. It's in the 70s. When I got here 2 nights ago, I think it was close to 80, like at nighttime. So. Yep, I think I still haven't talked about the moon saddle yet, so let me talk about this. This is my seat. You'll notice there's no horn right here to squeeze my prostate, which is quite nice. It's a real comfortable seat. It takes some getting used to. It's a little bit wobblier at first, and harder to ride without your hands, because you actually use your inner thighs to steer with when you got that horn there. But overall, I like it a lot. I used to get some numbness with the standard style seat, and I do not anymore. So this is my second one. I really like it. It's already, I mean, it's had a lot of miles on it, but still, I wish it would stay together a little better. I might put some tape on that later. But overall, I'm pretty dang into it. Moon saddle. There's a website. They're designed in USA. They might be made in USA too. Not sure. Yep. So, standing right here by the fruits and vegetable signs. Hope you're doing well, and off I go, heading south. In Narcoossee, Florida. It's just outside of Orlando. I'm here on a guy named Matt Hunter's property. He's has some sustainable gardening going on. He just finished that greenhouse you can see there. We got some papaya trees over here. So I'm gonna be staying here a couple days and helping him out with some projects and learning some stuff about companion planting and different plants for different uses. So I'm pretty excited to be here. And
I've got about 5 different types of nutrient accumulating plants that are efficient at accumulating different types of nutrients. So this, the Mexican sunflower, it accumulates phosphorus very well, which is a great thing because phosphorus is a limited resource that will be running out within the next, probably before oil. They talk about peak phosphorus. We'll probably be running out before oil, and phosphorus, like oil, we can figure out ways around it. Plants need phosphorus. So either way, but these are mining for phosphorus. But I have about 6 different types of nutrient accumulating plants that I'm going to plant all in these hedgerows all the way down, and then I'm going to put a 4-foot wide garden bed straight down the center of it with a walk path on each side, so that all the nutrients will be able to come from, just walk down the aisles, chop down all these different types of nutrients, and cycle them right back into the garden.
wow.
I hadn't seen anyone do this before. I mean, it's a common idea. In commercial agriculture, they'll plant a cover crop. Like in agriculture, they use nitrogen fixing plants and nutrient accumulating plants, and they'll do it as a cover crop in between seasons, and then they till it into the ground. But they run into issues with that because the timing can be off, and it can compete with the plant. So they have a thing where they'll plant it in the rows, and then they work it into the soil.
Yeah.
But I've never seen, and agroforestry does similar things where they'll plant like rows of trees and then they plant gardens in between them and cycle nutrients. But you know, I think the idea of just having an annual garden bed with perennial nutrient accumulating plants on the outside and then cycling them in is, for a small scale, you know, I think it might be like a completely sustainable way to have a garden.
Right on.
So we'll see. Without too much work of doing all the compost, you know. I initially put these out here so that I would have biomass to compost. And afterwards I was like, after you make a few compost piles, anyway, I get really lazy. So I was like, I think I'm just going to put the garden right next to them and put it right into it.
Cool.
And these are pollinator plants too. Yeah, the bees. We have a huge problem with bees in Florida. A major problem. I mean, in China, they have to pollinate almost every single one of their plants by hand because they have no bees left because of the air quality. And there's major problems with bees in Florida right now in pollination. People have professional jobs right now where they have beehives and they go from farm to farm and to pollinate the plants during the right time of season. And that's not something that we just have to do. So, you know, I'm trying to get as many flowers out here also so we have a nice population of pollinator species.
Cool. And I think I missed when you were talking about this is the Spanish or the Mexican sunflower. And then between that is the moringa.
Yeah, these are moringa. So, moringa is it's a crop. This one's actually sick, and he's probably missing out on some sunlight. But yeah, moringa is it's a super nutrient dense crop they're using it in Africa to fight malnutrition because it has such a diverse mix of nutrients in it. But you know, also plants that are good at accumulating nutrients, they have a lot of nutrients in them. Like, unfortunately, the Mexican sunflower, you can't eat it, but it has a lot of nutrients. So vice versa, you know, I can plant these in here, and I can harvest them, use them in salads and smoothies, sell them at the farmer's market. They can also be dehydrated, and they'll keep almost forever, and you can sprinkle them into food and use them as a seasoning because they have a peppery taste. But if I have more than I can produce, moringa is also a good chop and drop because it's a good nutrient accumulator. It has a large taproot that can go down. So it's actually it's multifunctional. So yeah, that's the other thing is like, you know, having multifunctional things, because I have edible plants that I'll plant more of them than I'd actually be able to eat because I can use them to serve other functions in the garden. You know, and it's good to have things that serve multiple purposes.
We're in Dave here in Florida, just outside of Orlando, and I'm in an abandoned orange orchard which still has a lot of trees that have fruit on them. So I'm here with my buddy Matt Hunter, and we are gonna pick some of these oranges and then juice them and then enjoy nature's bounty.